Hey guys, and welcome to another live wood turning. We're going to be making some more Christmas ornaments like we were the last several live wood turnings, of course. These are quick, easy projects, so I figured these would be good for live wood turning. I'm going to take these glasses off real quick. If you tuned in yesterday, sorry for the shakiness. I've got my tripod set up so that way it'll see the lathe, so I'm just kind of holding it here. But anyway, if you tuned in yesterday, you know that we've been making some Christmas ornaments, and this is the second building that I'm actually being able to make the Christmas ornaments out of. That was from my hometown, and this is actually one of the oldest buildings here in Mayfield, Kentucky. So if you're around this area, you may know the building. It's called the Lon Carter Barton House. Excuse me. Hey, what's up, buddy? And oh, thanks. It's just slowly growing in. Oh man, but yeah. So this is one of the oldest buildings here in Mayfield, Kentucky. So it was made it was pre-Civil War era, so it's really old. And the chunk of wood I got, it was so big that I had to actually cut it up with a chainsaw because I couldn't put it on my table saw or nothing like that. Nothing would touch it. It was just too big. So anyway, so yeah, I got all the blanks cut up. I think it ended up with like 18 of them, and I'm down to my last two. So I wanted to make sure I did one more of these live videos. Don't get caught up in your leg. I've turned a lot of wood with a long beard, and it's not happened yet. Not to say it's not going to, but with it being this short, I hope not. Oh goodness. But yeah, so if you know anything about Mayfield, so this house was like I said, pre-Civil War era. It used to sit on the Court Square on the south side, and back in 1900, it got moved down to its 7th Street location, and they rolled it there on logs to get it that way. So that's pretty neat. The owner of it used to tell the story all the time to the guy that gave me the wood, so he wanted to make sure I told that part of the story. But yeah, so anyway, so it's sat on 7th Street since 1900, and I think it was, let's see, I wrote that down. Yeah. And back in 2013, it actually, it got tore down for whatever reason. And so now all we got left is just little pieces of wood and stuff like that to make little trinkets and stuff to keep the memory alive. I actually have a friend that got his shirt wrapped around him. Oh, man, that don't sound good at all. Lord, yeah. Well, you got to be careful, that's for sure. Oh goodness. But anyway, so yeah, let's go ahead and get set up. We'll start wood turning here. So if I miss any comments, I'll apologize. I just the way I've got to have the camera set up, I uh, I can't actually see any of the comments. So, but yeah, so I'll show you a couple of them I've been turning today. I turned quite a few of them today. Like I said, I'm down to my last two now, and it all kind of depended on the piece of wood. Like this one, for instance, was the same length as this one here, but there was a big crack that ran all the way through it, so a big chunk of it just kind of flew off after I'd already got a lot of it done. So you just kind of got to roll with it. So anyway, this is a lot shorter one. I ended up getting a little point on this end there just because I like to have it come to a point if I can help it. And so I ended up getting that one done. Here's another one that did pretty much the same thing. I had a big chunk that ended up just flying off after I got that part turned because of some large cracks that was actually in the wood. But, I still think they look pretty neat. They're just not quite as tall as some of the other ones. Here's one that I did not too long ago. And I put a couple little, I don't know what you call these. I'm just going to call them little lines. And the way I did that was I used I used my skew wherever I've got it over here, and I basically just rested it on there and slowly cut in, and it started to burn the wood a little bit. I ended up sanding some of it out whenever I was trying to smooth it out and everything. So if I end up putting any on these, I'll definitely make sure to make them a little more vibrant than these little bitty, barely seen, whatever. Anyway, moving right along. And then this one here gave me all kinds of trouble. And that's why it's so kind of jaggedy down this way, because I kept having chunks of it that would just, this wood is really brittle. And it's actually breaking. So a lot of it's just kind of just falling out or ripping out as I'm sharpening my tool almost every every ornament I do, every other one actually. And so it's not a sharpness issue because I'm not turning a whole lot, but it's definitely, the wood is really old, so it's kind of weak. It's tearing apart and stuff like that. But anyway, so we end up doing whatever we can, making sure it looks pretty nice. And we've been using the same finish we've been using the whole time, pretty much. Excuse me, let me set these down real quick. But yeah, we've been using the same finish pretty much the whole time because it's a quick, easy finish. That's actually, I mean, it's really just quick and easy, actually. Considering how many I'm having to put on here, or how many I'm making, it actually helps out tremendously. Actually, you're keeping me company while I mark. Hey, there you go. Ain't nothing wrong with that, bud. Well, hopefully everybody's doing good in their homeschooling then. All right. All right, so I'm going to stop talking now. Go ahead and get to turning because these are the last two I got to do, and then I've got to run to town and get a couple of them eyelets because I think I ended up with just a few more ornaments that I have the little eyelets that I use for them. So I've got to make a trip all the way to town to spend 98 cents. Or however much it is. I think it's 98 cents. Maybe it's $1 or something. I don't know. Whatever. Not the point. All right, here we go. Let's get this thing. Okay. Forgot my cord over here. I apologize. I'm having to use the same extension cord to sharpen my tools as I am to turn the lathe on. So from time to time, I forget to bring it back. Oh, goodness. I always like running over just real quick just to see if there's any imperfections that kind of show up. Because sometimes, like right in here, there's a bunch of wormholes, and sometimes that ends up hiding a crack or something. So that don't look too bad, though. So let's get going with it. Sounds like it got a little wobble. Let me make sure I get that good and tight. I don't want it flying off at me. I'm gonna make these two pretty simple because I don't need to go. I need to get these done and get to town to get that, so I can take these back to the guy tomorrow. like I said, there's a lot of wormholes through this stuff, and it's actually making it quite a bit difficult to get nice sharp edges because you keep having those little wormholes. But so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and sand this section real quick, this whole section, and we'll just, like I said, this is gonna be pretty simple here. Something I have been doing a little bit different is I'm having to put a little bit of mineral oil on here first. I've just kind of soaked this rag, and I've just been reusing the rag over and over and over. So that way I'm not putting a really heavy coat on here. I'm just trying to make sure it saturates uh, in the wormholes here that are showing. It makes it a little more difficult to see where the wax is showing up at, or where the wax is melted at, but it does help out a lot with these wormholes. They don't stand out quite as much, and honestly, I think they look a little bit better when they're that darker color like they are. So I'll try and take it just a couple extra minutes and rub that in real good. And that'll actually soak into the wood a little bit too. Then I just take a rag and wipe off any excess. All right, now we'll go ahead and put the regular finish on. All right. All right, here we go. All right. We'll just sand that and we'll go ahead and part that one off. Like I said, I'm going to try and make a couple of pretty simple ones here. Especially when I do live videos, it makes things a little bit easier. Generally speaking, when I try to do the more complicated ones, things don't quite go the way you plan. And that's not as much fun when you're live, when you have a live audience. All right. All right, let's get a little oil on that. All right. All right, let's go ahead and part this one off and we'll start the last one again. This is the part I got to be real careful about. I say that in every video, and then sometimes it's still, even being careful kind of messes up on me. If it takes you too long, it ends up burning the top of it. I try to avoid that at all, but it's a little difficult sometimes. But it does just scrape right off, so it's not too big a deal. Or the majority of it does. All right. Sand that real quick. All right, we'll put this in there now. here we go. I say that. Let me change this out real quick. All right, let's get going. All right, so I got a nail hole here. It's going in at a weird angle. That may end up getting cut out depending on how things work out. I'll try and leave it, but it all kind of depends. All right, let's go ahead and sand that real quick. Not sure if you guys could see that or not, but it actually, this end down here was wobbling quite a bit. And that is actually the reason that I finish it as I go. I had another guy comment on one of my videos asking me about that. And that is a prime example. This here wasn't wobbling a lot. I had one earlier that if I had put any pressure at all on it, it would have snapped off. So you got to be real careful. And that's why I always try to finish as I'm going. I can get some down here in this. I don't know if there's enough left in here to squeeze in there. Maybe we got some down there. All right. Don't lag too much finishing this one. If that's the case, this will be the quickest live stream I've done. All right, now we're just going to part this one off real quick, and we'll be done with it. All right. There's our final product right here. It's got that nail hole in it. That ended up working out pretty good. And it's got a little crack up here. I'm gonna have to get some of that wax out of this one. There's quite a bit built up in there. Let me see if I can get that out real quick. All right, here we go. Well, anyway, here's our final product. I hope you enjoyed this last live video. It's probably going to be the last one I do for a little while, and I'll just get back to doing regularly scheduled uploads of different projects I've been working on. I just had a lot of these to do, and I figured if there was any interest, I'd go ahead and just do some live videos. And so, yeah, I ended up doing several of them. I hope you guys enjoyed them. And if you did, be sure to put a comment down there and let me know about it. So that way maybe I can plan to do some more, whether they're Christmas ornaments or something completely different. You let me know what you guys want to see, and we'll go from there. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this week's video or this live stream. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and consider supporting BS with AJ on Patreon so we can do bigger and better projects for you guys. And I'll see you next time. I want to see more beard. Can you get the wax out with a heat gun? Yeah, you can get the wax out with a heat gun, but it works a lot better if I just use this little awl in the little cracks here because it fits perfectly. But if I use the heat gun, it'd melt the wax on all of it. That's the only problem with it. But yeah, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time. Take it easy.